Hey everybody, welcome to today's Mind-Body Connection yoga class. Find some space for yourself. Feel free to grab some props if you want to. If you could let me know what kind of props you guys have at home, I would love to hear what you're working with. Trying not to use a lot of props today, but I'd really like to start thinking towards different classes we can offer next week and in the future. So let me know if you have foam rollers, if you have actual yoga blocks, if you have yoga straps, so that I can think a little bit more towards some suggestions that I can make if you don't have those props. But I'd like to find out what everyone's working with. But you don't need any of that for today. I mean, if you have it, I always say set yourself up for success, grab whatever you do need, and find your way to the floor. We're gonna get started in about 2 minutes. Yay, 2 minutes. Happy Friday, everyone. Just gonna slide it on up here. Hello. We're going to get started in Savasana today, so feel free, if you're here just a little early, to just lay down on your backs, dress as comfortably as you want to. It's nice and warm here in my laundry room, but I'm still wearing a sweatshirt because I like to get my body pretty warmed up so that I'm a little bit looser and more flexible. No weights needed. Nope, we're just focusing really on some gentle stretches today. If you are looking for a more weight intense class, I do believe the 12:15. Wait, what time is it? Yeah. And the 4:30 are a little bit more intense today. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. Welcome. Let's go ahead and come onto your mat. Come onto your mat or just the space that you've created for yourself on the floor. Hi, I'm Jessica, the Health Fitness Program Manager from Mitre McLean. And I'm gonna just guide you through today's 45 minutes of moving meditation. Awesome. So lay down on the floor, starting here in Savasana. Typically you'll have your heels close together, your toes fall open, and your arms relax down by your sides with your palms facing up towards the ceiling. However, if it's more comfortable for you, feel free to have one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And if your legs are really tight, keeping them out straight in Savasana can feel uncomfortable. So maybe even taking a slight bend of your knees if you have to. But if you don't have to, go ahead, keep those legs straight. And start to slow your breath down. Typically, yoga breathing is breathing in through your nose and out through your nose. However, if you're feeling a little clogged up today, or just that intensely focused breath is not making you feel as relaxed as I wanted to, definitely feel free to inhale in through your nose and then enjoy some long, slow, deep exhales out through your mouth. Exhaling out through your mouth is actually going to help to warm your body up a little bit more. So if you find during the practice that you're just feeling, too sweaty, go ahead and close your mouth and bring the breath back in and out through your nose. Really work to slow your breath down. Every inhale a little bit longer, deeper, fuller, feeling your rib cage expand, but working to keep those ribs knit together. So as you inhale, notice if your rib cage is opening out very wide, and if so, contract that core a little bit more so that you have a nice engagement and tightness of your abdomen. If your eyes are open, find that one spot on the ceiling above you to relax your eyes. Relax your mind and just enjoy your breath. If you're listening to music, enjoy it. If you're not, just start to notice the sounds around you. Start to scan your body from head to toe and just notice where you might be holding tension. And really start working towards sending your breath to those tense spots of your body. If you want to set an intention for your class today, now is a beautiful time to do so. If doing so sounds weird, don't worry about it. The last couple breaths right here. Take one more deep inhale and then go ahead, bend your left leg and place the sole of the left foot on the floor. We're going to go for a nice figure four stretch. Take a deep inhale, send your right leg up towards the ceiling and with a nice straight leg, make some circles with your ankle in one direction. And then in the opposite direction, pretty normal if you hear some crunching, cracking, breaking down of some of the scar tissue, stretching of ligaments. Go ahead, cross your right ankle over your left knee. Make sure there's some room once again to make some circles with your ankle in one direction and then again in the other direction and then start to come into your stillness. You can do whatever you want to with your hands, maybe relaxing them by your side. Maybe you even want to place your right hand on top of your right thigh to gently help to press your right knee away from you. So you're stretching your right knee down towards the end of the mat. I still have my belly pulled in nice and tight and my lower back is completely in contact with the floor. You can stay right here, focusing on the stretch that you're creating in your right hip flexor. And if you want to feel it a little bit more, take a deep inhale. And on your exhale, lift that left leg up off of the mat. Now, while you do so, make sure that right knee doesn't start to come in towards your chest. You're still actively stretching your right leg away from you. You can let gravity do the work right here, or you can even interlace and work to grab hold of your opposite fingers behind your thigh. Maybe that's not quite accessible for you today. Do the best that you can. Another option is to grab hold of your knee from the top. But once you have your hold, or you're just letting gravity do your work, make sure that you're still stretching that right knee away from you. Relax your shoulders from your ears. Take a gentle tucking of your chin towards your chest. One last option for a stretch right here, sending that left leg up towards the ceiling. Maybe taking a couple moments to point and flex that toe and just notice the engagement that it brings into your left leg. Keep stretching that right knee away from you for 3, 2, 1. Gently release your left leg back down towards the mat. Uncross your right. Take a moment, just windshield wipe your knees. Right and left, as far over to the side as feels comfortable for you. Starting to get a little bit deeper into that mid-lower back as well. Let's go ahead and get the opposite side. So this time keeping your right knee down on the floor. Take a deep inhale, send your left leg up towards the ceiling and make some circles in one direction with your ankle, with your toes. Go ahead and change the direction of your ankle circles. And then on your exhale, cross your left leg over your right. Make sure there's still space to circle that ankle on the outside of your right thigh. Press your lower back into the floor, suck your stomach in, and start stretching your left knee away from you. As much towards the end of the mat as is possible for you today. And my favorite reminder that every day is different, every day your body is different, and just be so thankful for whatever it is that you can do today, for making this time for yourself. Awesome. So you can hang out here in this stretch if this is the one that feels best for you. However, if you want to feel it a little bit deeper, take your deep inhale. And on your exhale, lift that right foot up off of the mat. As your right knee comes towards your chest, your left knee is still actively stretching away from you, bringing more of a stretch to the outside of your thigh, a little bit more your hamstring. If you want, once again, use your breath to lift yourself up. You can interlace your fingers behind your right thigh. You have the option of grabbing hold on top of the knee as well, just to work to bring that right knee towards you and send that left leg away. Are you feeling any tension or discomfort? I am. It's big. So I'm really going to use my breath. A nice slow inhale, maybe even slower than you want. Relaxing your shoulders away from your ears. Finding as much stillness as you can. And on the exhale, focus on sending that relaxation into any tense spots throughout your body. Last option here, sending your right leg up towards the ceiling. Once again, pointing and flexing those toes, a little bit more engagement of that right leg. For 3, 2, 1. Slowly, gently bend your right knee, release your right foot to the floor, uncross your left, and once again, take a moment. Windshield wipe your knees, right and left, right and left. We're gonna do a lot of hip work again today. So next up, we're gonna just relax for a couple moments and recline bound angle. So bring the soles of your feet together. Go ahead and allow your knees to fall open, heavy towards the sides. You can have your heels as close towards the center line of your body as feels comfortable for you. I like having mine very close. You might find you need to bring your toes a little bit more towards the edge of the mat. Sometimes I even like to shake my butt a little bit left and right here, just to encourage my body to relax, to take the tension out of my glutes, out of my back, taking a moment to readjust your shoulders, and we'll come back here into our Savasana. So prepare to spend 1 minute focusing back on your breath, making that exhale as long as possible, and keeping that rib cage knit together like you're holding a quarter between your lower ribs and your abs are tight as well. Back to your breath. Three more slow breaths right here. Last one, enjoy your deep inhale. And on your exhale, send those legs out. Straighten your legs on your mat. Might need to shake your butt, windshield wipe your feet, bob your knees a little bit, whatever you might need to do to relieve any tension that could have built up in your lower back. Okay, next up we're gonna go for wind removing into pigeon, reclined, and then half happy baby. So we're gonna focus on one side at a time to get a little bit deeper into our hip flexors. So keeping your left leg grounded onto the mat, take a deep inhale and draw your right leg up. Go ahead, interlace all 10 of your fingers about 2 inches below the knee, and then relax your finger pads onto your hands. So there's not a big bunching of your knuckles. We're in a nice anti-arthritic grip. Pull your knee out away from your rib cage and then back up towards your shoulder. Very normal for your left shoulder to have rolled off of the mat. So use your exhale, bring that left shoulder back down. And if your left calf muscle's not touching, flex those toes back towards your face. Begin to pull. As you pull on your shins, your shoulders stretch away from your ears, your elbows stretch down towards your hips, your stomach is sucked in nice and tight. You're pulling on your shin, but you're also pressing your shin until your hands pound to create an equal and opposite contraction. If your stomach is sucked in, and you are pulling and you're pressing and your elbows are stretching down towards your hips, you hopefully feel a pinching compression sensation in your lower right abdomen. That's your ascending colon. Don't worry, we'll get to the descending and transverse in just a moment. Keep your right hand on the outside of your right knee. We're gonna take our left hand and reach down and grab hold by your pinky toe. Work to bring your right big toe towards your left shoulder. And maybe you can just hold on as I'm doing, just grabbing hold with my right hand on the outside of my knee and my left hand by my foot. Or maybe you want to come into a modification of pregnancy pose here on the floor so that you can just reach through and grab hold of your shins and work to bring your heel, your shin a little bit closer towards your chest. Now, make sure you're not lifting yourself up off of the mat. Relax your shoulders back down, tuck your chin towards your chest, come back to your breath right here. I know it's a big deep stretch, you're definitely worth it. Go ahead, take one more nice deep inhale. And on your exhale, take your right hand and grab hold of your big toe, or maybe you're gonna grab hold of the outside of your foot or close by your ankle, or bringing your hand right behind your knee. We're gonna come into half happy baby. Relax that right shoulder back down towards the mat the best that you can, starting off stacking your right heel on top of your knee. Sole of the foot facing up towards the ceiling. This might be a very intense stretch for you. If you have a strap, this is a great one to do a strap with. If you don't have a strap, then you have like pantyhose or a towel or a t-shirt or just something that you can use to make this grip easier. Definitely an option. If this is already easy for you and you want to work a little bit harder, option to come into big toe stretch. So straightening that right leg out, kicking through that heel. You might not have an awesome prop like I do over here. I just realized I can completely relax my leg on this railing as I continue to stretch through the heel, and there's a big stretch on my hamstring to glute insertion. Relax those shoulders back down towards the mat. Pull your shoulder blades away, shoulders away from your ears. Suck your stomach in, take one more deep inhale. And on your exhale, gently fold that right leg back in. Release your right leg down. Send it back in line with your left. Maybe bob those knees, windshield wiper, shake your butt, whatever you need to do to take that tension out. We're gonna go ahead and get the opposite leg. So keeping your right leg down this time, suck your stomach in, core contracted, take a deep inhale. As you draw your left leg up, all 10 fingers interlaced 2 inches below the knee. Pull it out dramatically away from your rib cage and then back up towards your shoulder. Relax your right shoulder back down towards the mat. And if your right calf muscle's not touching, flex those toes back towards your face. Stretch your elbows down in the direction of your hips. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Chin slightly tucks towards your chest. You're pulling on your shin and you're pressing into your hands, palms. Your stomach is sucked in, your lower back is pressed down into the floor. Pulling, pushing, pinching, pulling. You feel the sensation this time in your lower left abdomen. We are getting that descending colon. Take one more deep inhale. And on your exhale, reach with that right hand. We're coming into that reclined pigeon or pregnancy pose option. So your left big toe is coming closer towards your right shoulder. And just depending on how tight you are today, maybe it's very far away, or maybe it's easy for you to get it in very close. Just come back into your breath with time, with breath, with focus, with relaxation. Anything is possible. Slow it down right here. Every exhale, can you bring that left big toe a little bit closer towards your shoulder, even if it's incremental. Take one more deep inhale. And on your exhale, take your left hand, grab hold of either your big toe, the outside of your foot, your ankle, behind your knee, as we come into our half happy baby on the opposite side. So sole of the foot faces up towards the ceiling. My knee is still coming in towards my armpit. You can hang out right here. This might be a very intense stretch for you. And if you want something a little bit deeper, kick through that heel. Oh my, and feel a little bit more of a stretch on the back of your leg, on the thigh into your glutes. For 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently bring that leg back in. Release, kick your left leg out. This time we're going to draw both legs up at the same time. You don't have to draw them up at the same time, but both legs are going to lift up. Squeeze those knees together. Option to round yourself up like a ball and work to grab hold of your opposite elbow. You don't have to do that though. Feel free to keep your head down on the mat and see what can you grab today. If you can't grab your opposite elbow, can you grab a wrist? Can you grab a finger? If that's not accessible, just place one hand on each of your knees. Work to squeeze those knees together as much as you can, and go ahead, tuck your chin towards your chest. Excuse me. So you're stretching through the crown of your head towards the wall behind you. Your elbows are stretching down towards your hips. Your stomach is sucked in, and your lower back, your sacrum, is stretching towards the end of the mat. Eventually in the future, the goal is for your spine to be completely flat on the mat. Go ahead, take one more nice deep inhale. And on your exhale, release. Relax your legs down, arms down. Back to our Savasana. We're going to stay on the floor just a little bit longer. Let's take a nice total body stretch right here. Take a deep inhale, bring your arms up overhead. Palms face up towards the ceiling. We're going to come into banana pose right here. So walking your legs all the way over to the right as much as you possibly can. I know we've done banana pose before. Typically we cross our inside leg over the outside leg. But how about today, try something different and cross your outside leg over the inside. As you walk your hands to the right as much as possible, know that if your shoulders are really tight, you might have to take a big generous bend of your elbows and just grab hold of one hand with the other. Create as deep of a stretch as you can from your fingers, your wrist, through your shoulder to your hips all the way down to that ankle. Once again, finding a spot to relax your eyes. This one is actually a yin yoga posture, so take that tension out of your muscles. Just a moment for complete relaxation right here. Last 2 breaths. Go ahead and release one hand from the other, maybe even wiggling your fingers. Uncross your legs if you kept them crossed. Begin to walk your legs to the center line of your body. Walk your hands back to the center line of your body. Keep those hips ground into your mat. Pull your belly in a little bit and walk your legs over to the left as much as possible. And then you can walk your hands over to the left as much as possible. Try the same thing on this side that you did on the other, but remember, our bodies are different, and what works on one side doesn't always work on the opposite. So experimenting today with crossing that left leg on top of the right, and then actively stretch through your hips. Pressing your hips towards the right side of the room, stretching a little bit more from your fingertips, working to find a little bit more of a stretch in your thighs, contracting your glutes. And then relax completely. Release into the stretch. Last 2 breaths right here. Enjoy your deep inhale. On your exhale, uncross it if you crossed it. Walk your legs back to the center, walk your arms back to the center, and gently relax your arms back down by your side. Go ahead, draw your knees in towards your chest. Once again, placing one hand on top of each knee. Give yourself a little bit of a circle here, massaging your lower back. We're gonna get up off the floor right after this. Go ahead, change the direction of your circles. And now you have the option to either roll over onto your side, press yourself up, or rock yourself up like a ball. And when you get there, come on up into tabletop. Yay, tabletop. Go ahead, spread those fingers nice and wide. Hands, palms right underneath of your shoulders. Hips stacked just on top of your knees. Continue to stretch that back out with a little bit of cat-cow. Finding the cat-cow that works best for you. I am a big fan of shaking my hips left and right, changing the posture, and then finding that same little shake on both sides. Great option if you carry your tension in your lower back, in your hips, in your saddlebags. If you have a little bit more tension in that chest, think about giving yourself some shoulder circles. Make sure that your belly is still slightly engaged here. A little drawing of that belly button back towards your spine. Nice work, you guys. Awesome. Okay, from here, go ahead, set yourself up for some plank. We're gonna get a little bit more hip opening, a hip opener, a reverse split. And then it's almost time for us to come back into Savasana. Isn't that awesome? So keeping your left leg down the mat, send that right leg out behind you. Just taking a moment to set yourself up to practice for that plank. Oh my God, I think someone's coming. Keeping that heel stacked on top of the ball of your foot. Press those hands, palms into your mat. Suck your stomach and take a deep inhale. And on your exhale, bring that right leg back in. And then send your left leg out, getting the ball of your foot onto the floor, tucking your toes under, pressing your toes, the ball of the foot into your mat, still stretching through your heel. Lots of engagement of that left leg. Go ahead, take a nice deep inhale. And on your exhale, bring both of those knees back. Option to give yourself a couple cat-cows once more. And next up, we're going to come into our hip flexor. Keeping things really chill today. We're not going to press up into down dog unless you really want to, and then you're welcome to. Okay. So you might find that you just want to lift your chest up, and then maybe wiggling your right foot forward. So grounding that right foot down into the mat. Maybe placing a pillow underneath of your left knee, maybe doubling up on your mat. Wiggle your right foot forward a little bit more so that as you shift your hips forward, your knee does not go past your toe. And then notice if you're opening up your hips towards the wall, and do your best to keep your hips squared with the top of your mat. You can bring your hands back towards your thighs. We're just going to be really gentle here. If you want a deeper hip opener, please feel free to bring your hands down towards the floor. Your choice if you have your hands on the outside of your feet, or if it's more comfortable to go for a little bit of a low flying lizard and have your hands on the inside of your foot. You can keep that back knee down on the mat and stay really passive right here in this hip opener. Continue to stretch your right hip behind you as your left hip is forward. Eyes focus down on the floor, on the mat in front of you somewhere. Go ahead, take one more nice deep inhale. And on your exhale, we're gently going to start walking your hands back towards your left knee as you bring your glutes along with you. So now your glutes are stretching a little bit more towards your left heel, towards the back of the mat. You can start off pretty passive right here by keeping your right foot down. Keep your hands on the floor right by your side. Option to use blocks, or perhaps if you needed to, you can tuck that chin towards your chest. And bring your forehead a little closer towards your knee. What's happening with your hips right now? Are you shifting a lot of weight over towards that left hand, left hip? If so, try to bring the weight a little bit more evenly onto the mat, applying some pressure into your right hand. And you can get a bit more of a stretch in this right leg if you begin to flex those toes back towards your face. Stretch through your heel. Once again, option to find that rounding to bring your forehead to your knee for 4. Keep breathing. 3, 2, 1. Release your right toes back down to the mat if you lifted them up. Walk your hands forward. One more hip flexor here. This time, if you did not come into that low flying lizard, bring your right hand to the inside of that right sole of your foot. Allow your knee to hang heavy out towards the side. Option to hang out here with your arms straight. Option also to come on down to the forearms, getting a little bit deeper. Maybe even placing your head between your arms, a little bit of a mini bind right here. Keep breathing it out. You are amazing for 3, 2, 1. If you came all the way down onto those forearms, lift yourself up. Straight arms, tuck your back toe under. Lift that knee up. Maybe you need to wiggle your right foot back to get your 2 knees back in line. Just taking one moment here in plank. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Stretch through the crown of your head. Take a deep inhale. And on your exhale, release your knees down to the mat. Send your hips back towards your heels. Taking a moment before we hit that left side with some child's pose. Feel free to walk those hands as far in front of you as feels good for you today. Taking that generous bend of your elbow if that's what you need. Bringing those hands all the way back by your hips. Think about even giving yourself a little stretch of your neck here. We'll stay here for a couple breaths. So maybe placing your left ear, left temple on the mat, taking 3 or 4 breaths right here, still pulling those shoulders away from your ears.
slowing down your mind, your body, your breath. If you did decide to go for this little twist of your head, twist in the opposite direction. I'll keep facing this direction so you can hear me. But just making sure whatever you do for one side of your body, you do for the other. The last 2 to 3 breaths. And then gently walk yourself back into tabletop. Lift yourself up. And let's go ahead and get that left leg. So take your time, hands on your hips, maybe keeping the hands on the floor, however you need to get this left leg out in front of you. Make sure you really bring it out in front of you again, so that as you hinge forward, your knee does not go past your toe. You're working to create the longest, straightest line you can from your lifted knee to whatever's on the floor, be it your knee, or you might even find yourself trying this posture with your back leg straight. Okay, so if you wiggle that front foot forward, next up, you're really working to bring your right hip forward, hips squared with the top of the mat, as opposed to opened up towards the side, and then shift a little bit more weight forward. Your weight is in your front left heel, but keep those big toes down on the floor. Option to stay up nice and high, hands on your hips, hands on your thigh, or if you want to feel it a little bit deeper, coming on down with your hands closer towards the mat. Coming back into your breath, just breathing through it. We got 2 more slow breaths right here. Keep bringing that right hip forward, left hip back. Go ahead, take 1 more deep inhale. And on your exhale, start to walk your fingertips back towards the back of the mat. Shift your hips as you walk. Right hip comes closer towards your right heel. Keep your big toes down on the floor to begin with. As you're ready, you can start tucking your chin towards your chest, bringing your forehead closer towards your knee. And if you're looking down, notice what's happening. Are you shifting your hips past your right thigh? Please try not to do that. Doing your best to still kind of keep one hip stacked on top of the knee to create that big stretch in your left leg. If you want to feel it even more, start to flex those toes back towards your face. Re-square yourself with your mat. Last chance to tuck your chin towards your chest. Place your forehead on your knee. Find a little bit more rounding. The biggest stretch you're going to feel today during our class on the back of this left leg for 3. Slow your breath down. 2. 1. Nice work. Gently lift your chin away from your chest. Replant your left toes on the mat. Walk your hands, palms forward. We got that low flying lizard here on the opposite side. So this time bringing your left hand to the inside of the sole of the left foot, allowing that left knee to hang heavy out towards the side. Pull your shoulders away from your ears. Suck your stomach in. You can hang out right here, or you can bring yourself a little closer down towards the mat. Remember, you're just doing whatever your body can do today. It doesn't matter what I can do. It doesn't matter what anyone else in the room could do. It doesn't matter what you did 5 days ago or 6 years ago or what you're going to do tomorrow, because it's today's practice. It is not perfect. It is practice. And the best you can do is be yourself, and it's always enough. Awesome. Let's slowly, gently work to come out. Once again, we'll come into a plank. So tuck your right toes under. Wiggle that left foot out as much as you need to. Once again, taking a moment here in plank. Just a moment, I promise. Bring those knees back down towards the mat. Send your hips back towards your heels. This time for a closed-legged child's pose. So knees are side by side, hips are just stretching back behind you. Head hangs heavy down between your arms below heart's level. Bringing back that nice, slow, relaxed heart rate. Last 2 breaths right here. walk your hands all the way over to the right as much as you possibly can. You can even place one hand on top of the other and actively press into your hands' palms. This time you are shifting your left glute a little bit past or towards your left heel. Go ahead, take one more deep inhale. And on your exhale, uncross your hands, start to walk back towards the center. Take a moment at the center, and then bring your hands as far over to the left as possible. Option to place your right hand on top of the left. Press into your hands' palms to really help push your heels a little bit closer towards your glutes. Feel free to allow your head to hang heavy down between your arms. Pressing in through the palm of the hand, not just those fingertips. Go ahead, take one more deep inhale. And on your exhale, once again, walk yourself forward, take your time. We're gonna pull ourselves all the way forward this time as we come into Sphinx pose. So maybe stepping one knee back and then the other, getting your pubic mound back down onto the mat. Elbows stacking right underneath of your shoulders. Place the palms of your hands flat on the floor. Okay, take a moment and just shake your butt. Shake your butt. Take the tension out of your butt. I have my feet matched with distance apart. The tops of my feet are pressed into the floor. Now start pressing your elbows down in towards the mat. Gently using your breath to lift your eyes, nose, chin up towards the ceiling. You're gonna feel a big stretch in that lower back. Notice if you're squeezing the glutes, maybe shaking your butt a little bit left or right here again. Keep looking up, eyes, nose, chin, lifting up. One deep inhale and exhale. Tuck your chin towards your chest. Looking down towards your belly button, finding a nice big stretch in the top of our shoulders, the back of our necks. Make sure you're still keeping that belly button, pubic mound pressed down onto your mat. Let's change the direction one more time. Take a deep inhale. Press your elbows into the mat. Press that belly down. Look up. Stretch up. Lift up. And change your breath. Bring your chin down towards your chest. Gently looking towards your belly button. Taking that tension out of your glutes once more. Take a nice deep inhale. And then go ahead and make a nice diamond shape. With your hands, palms, place your fingers, your head on top of your pillow. And windshield wipe your feet, right and left. Left and right, just relieving that tension that just builds up in our back. We're gonna relieve it even more with a big spine twist on our bellies. Spine twists on our bellies are so good for also accessing our abs a bit. And I know that we have done a lot of ab work in so many of the classes offered this week. Okay, so stretching your arms out to the side in a T. You're gonna keep your right hand down on the floor. Go ahead, bend your left leg up so the sole of the left foot is facing up towards the ceiling. Press into your left hand palm to bring your foot up and over your body. And just find a spot where you can touch that toe down. And depending on how tight you are, maybe you're touching your toe down really close towards your ankle. Maybe you can get a little bit further away from you. Maybe you can get it close towards your right hand. The closer that you get it towards that right hand, the more stretch that you're gonna start to feel in those obliques. Especially if you start pointing that knee up towards the ceiling, bringing that big stretch onto the back of your legs. Feel free to press that left hand palm into the floor to create the deepest stretch that you can for today. Can you bring your left shoulder closer towards the mat though? So maybe even walking your left hand fingertips away from the center line of your body to get as much of your chest flat, the biggest stretch in those thighs. Take one more deep inhale. And on your exhale, gently lower yourself back down. Bring your left leg back in line next to your right. And let's go ahead and get the other side. So this time, pressing your right hand into the floor, go ahead, bend your left leg up. Sole of the left foot faces up towards the ceiling. Use your breath, inhale. lungs full. Exhale, bring your left leg up and over your body. Once again, just finding a spot where those toes can relax down. Keep your head relaxed on your mat. Option to wiggle those toes a little bit closer up towards your left hand, to open those thighs, send those knees up towards the ceiling. You're responsible for creating as deep a stretch as you want to feel today. So maybe you are just keeping those toes in kind of close. Maybe you don't have your legs open very wide and you're just focusing on a gentle stretch, or maybe you just need something more. If you can, walk those right hand fingertips away from you as much as possible. Get that right armpit closer to the mat. Slow down your breath. Last 2 breaths right here. Nice work, guys. Rolling back over onto your bellies. You're going to press yourself up. Just turn yourself over onto your back. Take your time. Take your time. Coming onto your back. When you get there, bend your knees once more. We're just going to have a couple more active postures and then a nice long savasana. Okay. Final posture before that savasana is going to be bridge pose. So, relax your arms down by your side. You can open your feet about hips width distance apart, maybe max width distance apart. Ground your heels, your big toe, your pinky into the mat. We're going to keep our shoulders down on the mat. Suck your stomach in, contract your core. Take a deep inhale, ground those feet into the floor, and on your exhale, lift those hips up. Just squeezing those glutes, stretching those hip flexors up towards the ceiling. Option to interlace your fingers underneath of your body, maybe even wiggling those shoulder blades a little bit closer together. Make sure that you didn't come onto the outsides of your feet. So really grounding your big toe, your pinky, your heels into the floor. Find one spot on the ceiling above you. Relax your eyes, focus your mind, just engaging that posterior chain right now. 2 more breaths. Use your exhale, send those hips up, squeeze your glutes. Last one, deep inhale. Exhale this time, release your hands from underneath of you. Slowly, gently lower yourself down. Once again, take a moment, draw those knees up in towards your chest, and give yourself some circles right here. First in one direction. Good work. Change the direction of those circles. And then, as you're ready, go ahead, bring your feet back down towards the mat. We're going to come into our final savasana. Option to come into that reclined bound angle like we started class with to get a little bit deeper into those hips. Also option to just kick those legs out in front of you. Excuse me. You can either have your heels touch and your toes fall open, or feel free to open your legs as wide as you want. Feel free to open your arms as wide as you want. If you're feeling some tension in your chest and your pecs, bring those arms up and out nice and wide to the side can help bring that delightful stretch right here. So just finding what feels good for you today. Finding where you can just hold the stillness for 2 minutes. 2 minutes of completely still and silent savasana. Think that every time you make an intentional movement, anything other than your breath or maybe blinking, it's normal for your fingers to start to curl in towards each other. But if you're wiggling your toes, or if you're moving your eyes around on the ceiling, or making weird faces, or wiping your sweat, all of these are you coming out of savasana. This is our last posture. So give it the same amazing focus you gave every other posture, and just bring your thoughts back to your breath.
Awesome stillness, everyone. Go ahead, bring a little wiggle to your fingers and your toes. Bring that blood flow back to your extremities, maybe windshield wiper in your feet. Once again, you can stay here in this Savasana for as long as you want to. If you, like me, need to move on with the rest of your day, you can either roll over onto your side, press yourself up into a seated position, maybe draw your knees in towards your chest, and round yourself up, whatever feels good for you today. Take one more moment to sit down and bring your hands to your heart center with your thumbs touching on your sternum. Even press those hands palms together. Activate your back once more. Tuck your chin down towards your chest and honor yourself for making this time for you, for your body, for your movement, for your mental and your physical health. Thank you guys so much for coming and sharing your energy, not just with me, but with each other. I hope to see you all again soon. Namaste. Thanks for coming, you guys. Don't forget to comment below if you have anything that's still feeling really tense or uncomfortable. I really want to hear about it so that I can write class specifically for your needs. Tell me what kind of props you have. And if you're looking for a little something extra, don't forget we just started that virtual 5K training for the MITRE Fun Run Walk, whatever you want to do, taking place the week of June. Hope to hear from you guys all soon. Have an amazing, safe, healthy weekend. Thanks, guys.